when she walked through that door. The most beautiful girl I'd ever seen before. Sea green eyes and long blonde hair, cool smooth smile and didn't have care. I don't know why, but she walked my way. I was scared to death, but I was ready to play. Love at first sight sets the spirit free. I felt the dark clouds part, I heard the angels sing. My heart caught fire and my soul can fly. That's when I knew I had to make her mine. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big show. Can I hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the big show. My name is Mickey, and this is Mickey in the Middle. In the middle of the week, the quintessential show for Middle Americans, where all Middle Americans are welcome. It doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter whether you're left or right. It just matters that you're in the middle. Doesn't matter where you've been, where you're going, just that you're in the middle. So what we do here is we're all about Middle Americans. And the reason we're about Middle Americans is we are the majority of the people in the country. And we understand that the middle of America is what makes Middle Americans are what make our country great and what makes our country work. So this show is specifically for Middle Americans. So you can be upper middle, lower middle, middle, lower, upper. It doesn't matter as long as you're here and you think of yourself as a Middle American. So Middle American has nothing to do with income. It has to do with an attitude about America. So there's a lot of good things about America. So let's get right to the show and get to it the way we always do. We talk about the Constitution of the United States every single show because it is the greatest document ever created on earth. So we always give homage to that. And then, what happened? Retrieving data. Come on, man. There's 8 billion people on the planet. We ought to be able to keep up with them. Still retrieving data. Oh, well, so much for that. But we are $38 trillion in debt. Almost $39 trillion in debt. That is absolutely insanity as far as I am concerned. It's nuts. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Olympics and we're going to be talking about the State of the Union. And basically what I think of the State of the Union, I got a couple of things to say about it. And these cannot be more contrasting ideas than what we're about to talk about, because the Olympics brings people together. It is unifying. It is absolutely amazing. Other than the interpretive dance at the start of the Olympics, at the opening ceremonies, and the interpretive dance at the closing ceremony, I thoroughly enjoyed the entire Olympic experience. So I don't watch a lot of TV, but I found myself absolutely enthralled with the figure skating, with the snowboarding, with the skiing, with the ice. I got addicted to curling again. Every Olympics, I get addicted to curling. It's absolutely crazy. And I cannot tell you how much I love watching that. And the men and women's team both did very, very well. They tried their doggondest to be as good as they could possibly be. And I thought that was just totally outstanding. So what I wanted to do first is I wanted to talk about the Olympics. It was absolutely amazing the way that the entire world gets together around sports. Sports is absolutely incredible. It teaches so many lessons. It is such a good experience for young people and old people. I just came from pickleball. Now, when I was younger, I played all of the major sports: basketball, football, ultimate frisbee, softball, baseball. It was it was one of the defining things in my life. I just came from pickleball where I got beat. I played in 6 games today. 6 games? Yeah, 6 games, and no matter who my partner was, I got beat all day long like a drum. It was a character building moment for me because I did not like it one bit, but I had to suck it up and I had to realize that other people were better than me. And sometimes that's just the way that it goes. And some people are going to be trying different things, and you're not going to like those things that they're doing. And you're not going to like the fact that you take bad shots. But the simple fact of the matter is that every single time somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. Now, the question then becomes, what do you do as a winner and what do you do as a loser? Because those are character building moments. And we're going to contrast sports with what happened in the State of the Union last night. Now, I'm not happy with the I'm not happy with the state of the country. And the reason is because it seems like everybody on every single issue has to pick a side and then they go hard in the paint, which is a basketball reference, or hard in the crease to the detriment of everything. And there's not an excuse to not be people of good character when we're dealing with this. And there's not an excuse for not being empathetic or sympathetic to people who are on the other side. And if we can take what we're doing in sports and understand that that needs to apply to everyday life and every single issue that's facing America, then we might be able to move forward. But right now, it is my side's winning. I get my way. Your side's losing. Screw you. And there seems to be no compromise. And that leads to things like $38 trillion in debt. Everybody has a better idea, but everybody always agrees when they get into Congress just to spend more money. And every time they're spending money, they're not spending their money, they're spending our money. And that's absolutely horrible. So let's start with the good stuff first, and we'll move on from there. So let me get to this. So what I did was I pulled up who the winners were, who got medals for the United States in the Olympics. So here is the list. Starting right there, you can see this. This is the overview. Now, they may or may not have gotten everybody because I know that they have forgotten some people on here. So anyway, gold medal, Alessa Lou, Breezy Johnson, Alex Ferreira, and then gold medal in freestyle skiing, mixed skiing aerials was Connor Coran, Kayla Kuhn, and Christopher Lelis. The men's hockey team won. Also, the women's hockey team won. They're not listed on here. And then Ilya Melininen, I don't even know how to say his name. The quad god. He is listed right there as well, and that is awesome. But also, we had silver medals from Evan Bates and Madison Chuck, Ogden and Gus Schumacher, Corey Dropkin, Corey Thesis, Jake Canner, Jackie Wiles, Paula Molzon got bronze. Ashley Furquan's son. Sorry about that, ma'am. I can't tell you how that goes. Mia Mangelo, Corrine Stoddard, and then the lady that won the bobsled also is not listed on here, and the women's hockey team are not listed on here. So that was from Google. So they almost got it right. But there you go. Alessa Lou wins gold for the United States of America and ends the U.S. medal drought in women's singles. Skating, she was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely incredible performance. And then this is Breezy Johnson. She won alpine skiing and women's downhill. Good for her. This is Alex Ferreira, freestyle and half pipe. I'm going to tell you what, If you didn't see that, that was absolutely incredible performance. They were all incredible in that. And then there's this team right here, which did freestyle mixed and mixed team aerials. And if you haven't seen these people fly, you need to go back and watch that. Connor Curran, Kayla Kuhn, and Christopher Lelis. That was absolutely awesome. This is the men's hockey team. Most of them in there. I'm going to tell you, I'm so proud of them. The women's hockey team, there they are right there. Look at them. They did it great. Both of those teams won in overtime, which is awesome. And then this right here is team figure skating. Madison Chalk, Evan Bates, Ilya Melininen, Elisa Liu, Amber Glenn, Danny O'Shea, and Ellie Kahn. That's awesome. And then we get into the State of the Union. So I wanted to show you everybody that won a gold medal. And the reason is because I think it's important that a country we celebrate because we can get together on some things. Supporting the athletes that go to the Olympics is something we can all get behind. That is absolutely awesome. Now, if we can only get behind all of the things that we all should be behind. Now, I'm going to bring up population data again. Come on, man. Let me see if I can retrieve the data. We're $38 trillion in debt. How come we can't all get together and force our politicians to get rid of that? Now, Tom Cotton is running for the Senate again, but he hasn't done anything to help get this under control. And he's a Republican here in Arkansas. And the representatives from Arkansas are not doing anything. They keep approving budgets and they keep continuing resolutions or another thing that they just keep approving. And the budget's always going up. And we're going to get stuck with a bill one of these days. And it's absolutely crazy because right now in the United States, there are 348 million people. And our deficit is $38 trillion. That's crazy. If you do the math on that, it's absolutely crazy. Our public debt to GDP ratio is 102.54%. That is also crazy. But we also should be able to get together and decide that the border needs to be closed. But half of the people in the country are still fighting that the border needs to be opened. They don't understand that having no borders means that you don't have a country. Somebody in Congress actually said that everybody is welcome in the United States of America. All of them. Well, how many people did we just say were on the planet? 8 billion people? Can you imagine if 8 billion people all decided to pack up, get on airplanes and trains and boats and come to the United States of America? It would be chaos. Chaos. I'm happy with a closed border. Who knows how many people were let in when the border was declared open and Joe Biden was running the place? I don't know. Who knows what that number is? Is it 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 50 million? Who knows? All I know is that the number of people that are in the United States that should not be here is between 30 and 50 million. Between 30 and 50 million. That's an insane number considering we only have 350 million people in the United States of America. That's nuts. But another thing, we should have secure elections. We should all want secure elections. I don't care if we're electing a dog catcher. We have to make sure that the processes that are in place secure our elections and that the only people that are voting are the people that should be voting. Now, in a lot of states, they're saying anybody can vote. And that's up to them. So California, New York, they're saying, hey, if you're here, you can vote. Now, I made a post on Facebook that I've got to apologize for. The original post said it was never the intention of the founders to have people that were not in the country and citizens counted in the census. That was not true. That was not true. And I apologize for that. And I made an edit to the post after I found out that that was not true. And the reason was because when we started our country, foreigners, people that were foreign born, were a lot of people. So they wanted them counted in the census, but not necessarily eligible to vote. So they were counted for apportionment and who was going to represent the United States in Congress. Now, apportionment is important because all of the people that came across the border in the last 10 or 15 years and previous to that, that had come in on visas and had come in as students or came in to visit, if they are here when they do the census, and the census is done every 10 years, the founding fathers said those people can be counted for apportionment. And apportionment determines how many representatives that you have in Congress. Now, that was the original founding fathers that did that. Back in like 1891 or something like that, in the late 1800s, Congress came up with the Immigration Act, the first Immigration Act, and they said, hey, look here, we're going to only allow people into our country that we want coming into our country. That means that they were now controlling immigration. And it wasn't a free for all. Anybody that showed up can now be counted for apportionment. But it's never been addressed by the court system. It's never been addressed by Congress. It's never been addressed by the leaders of our country how to define who's allowed to be counted for apportionment and who's been counted for voting. It's never been challenged. It's never been challenged in the federal courts, and it's never been decided by the Supreme Court. So everybody has to have some understanding, no matter what side you're on, of where we are for apportionment and representation in the Congress and voting. Because those questions have never been answered at the highest level. That's why the SAVE Act that's in Congress right now needs to be addressed, because that will clearly define who's allowed to vote and who's not allowed to vote in the election. And they're saying that it's going to be citizens only, and you have to prove ID. You have to have forms of ID that prove that you're a citizen in order to do that. I don't understand why that's hard to get behind. I don't understand how that's hard to get behind. Because if you're going to have apportionment by whoever shows up, which is the current rule, because it's never been addressed by the courts. So if you flood all of the states that you want to have higher numbers of representatives in Congress, like California, New Mexico, Illinois, up there in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, in New York, if you want a higher number of apportionment, the best way to do that is just bring in a bunch of people. Get as many people as you can get into your state. So, but we can't we can't have consensus on that. And I don't even understand why. So last night in the State of the Union, I got to find this. In the State of the Union, a lot of people have a lot of takeaways from that, because there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on last night. Donald Trump has done a lot in the last year, and well, from the 20th of January, 2025 until now, which is what, 1 year and a month? A year and a month. The only thing that I see that he is not trying to address, that he said that he would address, is the war in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia. And he tried. He tried, but it doesn't seem like anybody over there wants to cooperate. So he took Israel and Palestine down to the lowest level. He solved a couple of other minor skirmishes around the world. He's working on the economy. Some people here in the state of Arkansas are paying below $2.25 for gas. I know that bread is cheaper. I know that eggs are cheaper. But at the same time, everybody's complaining about the tariffs. What about the tariffs? Well, here's what the deal is with the tariffs. The Supreme Court said that he cannot use the mechanism to enforce tariffs that he used, which was an emergency economic instrument that was given to the president that had never previously been used for tariffs. But he took it. He said, hey, I'm going to go and do this. Now, why is that important? Here's why it's important. The Supreme Court said that the president of the United States has the ability to come up with tariffs and have those enforced, but they cannot use the IEEC, whatever the hell they were talking about. I think Trump won the battle because Trump was saying, hey, can the president of the United States establish and enforce tariffs? And the Supreme Court said, yes, you can. But you can't do it the way that you did it. And they had dissent. That's why he lost. So is it a loss if the Supreme Court says that you can actually have the president of the United States without Congress approval and without the long methods that are established in other rules? Is it feasible for the president of the United States to do that? And the Supreme Court said, yes. That's the way I read it. So the president can come up with tariffs to force other countries to do things. That's a good thing, according to the Republicans. Bad thing, according to the Democrats. One of the things that the president was doing last night is he was goading a lot of people. So takeaway, this right here is from CNN Politics, takeaway from Donald Trump's State of the Union address. And it was crazy because the immigration thing, Trump tried to trick him. Trump said, hey, stand up if you believe that the United States of America needs to take care of citizens first before they take care of immigrants and illegal immigrants. And the Democrats looked like somebody just put lemon on their lips. It was not pretty. But he got him. Because if the Democrats say, no, it's not right for the United States government to put citizens first, which they just sat there and they looked like they'd been lambasted. It wasn't even good. But they did. They took the concept and Trump twisted it on them. And he did I got news for you. I don't like watching Trump speak. I just don't. He goes off a script and he bloviates and he's just narcissistic and everything's got to be about him. That's why he's putting his name on everything. So I stopped watching Donald Trump's speeches unless it was something specific that I needed to see, because I hate watching the man speak. But I had to watch all 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever the hell the speech last night, just so I could report back to you. And I'm going to tell you right now, he did a good job. The one thing that he did more than anything else in the speech was goad the Democrats on about all of the things that they don't support. And it was a continuing theme over and over and over and over and over. He hit the tariffs. He hit the protesters. He hit ICE. He hit the economy. The Democrats still can't admit that the economy's better, that the stock market is high, that the price of things are coming down. It just can't take it. And this is a great picture of this is a great picture of Donald Trump. This is when Nancy Pelosi was there. Oh, this was I got the wrong one. This is when all the Democrats wore white. So, but this is definitely from last night. This is typical of the Democrats. This is a couple of congresswomen, and they just are angry. They're just mad. They're just, if you watch the State of the Union, it just seems like all of the Democrats are pissed off all the time. They can't get together on one thing. They can't support anything. It comes out of the Republican side of the House. Very, very rarely is anybody on the left trying to help anybody on the right with anything. Not even on the big things. Not even on the budget, not even on the military, not even on tariffs, not even on economic sanctions, not even on supporting the war. They bitched about, they bitched and complained about taking Maduro out. He's one of the biggest drug lords in the whole wide world, and they complained about that. All I'm saying is we have a choice to make about how we react to things. And anger is not a good look for anybody. This is a political process. And when you have the congresswomen up there yelling and screaming and being mad, number one, it's not a good look. But number two, do we really need people that are that mad in Congress? Do we need people that are that angry all the time in Congress? No, we can do better. Look, we got an election coming up here. Did you know that 100% of the House of Representatives is up for re-election in November? 100%. Every 2 years, every single congressperson is sent back to Congress by each district. Every single district, every 2 years, has to vote again, and 97% of the people that are incumbents in Congress are going to go back. If they don't quit and they run again, they got a 97% chance of going back. Even the bad ones, even the mad ones, even the crazy ones. It's insane. If you contrast that with what just happened in the Olympics, I want us to vote in everybody that's going to get along and be on the same page, that's going to believe in the American dream, that's going to believe in America, believe that America is the greatest place on the planet, because it is. I've been around the world. I've been in Turkmenistan. I've been in Kazakhstan. I've been in Afghanistan. I've been in Pakistan. I've been in Central America. I've been in North America. I've been in Europe. I've been in Africa. I've been around the world. I've been in more than 50 countries. And I can tell you right now, nobody can hold a candle to us. Great Britain is going down the tubes faster than you can imagine, because they have let their immigration policies get so out of control, and they're trying to be so deferential to other religions that they cannot get their shit straight. So now you have Sharia enforcement in Great Britain. And the Great Brits, the British are going along with it because their politicians are so stupid that they keep reelecting them to go up there, and nothing's going to change until you get rid of your politicians. I'm just saying, we got to figure out a way to get rid of all 535 people in Congress. We got to get rid of everybody. If not, we're going to go down the same road, that we're going to be divided all the time, that there's not going to be one single good idea in Congress, everybody, that at least 75% or 80% of the people in Congress can agree with. They've abdicated all of their jobs. They didn't want to deal with education, so they created the Department of Education. They didn't want to talk about commerce, so they created the Commerce Secretary and the Department of Commerce. And they didn't want to deal with anything else. So transportation kicked to the curb. All of the secretaries that you see up there, except for the Treasury was one of the originals. So we did Treasury, we did Commerce, we did War, in the original, but everything else that's up there that they're controlling, that needs to be controlled by the state. You want to know why? Because in the Constitution of the United States of America, we got this little thing called the 10th Amendment to the Constitution of America. And it says, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people. So instead of you keeping your money local and letting your local politicians decide to do with the money, they take our money and they send it up to Washington, and then they divvy it up the way that they want to. Most of the stuff that they're spending on Congress, I disagree with. I understand that we have to have a social safety net, but it needs to be a safety net. It needs not be a hammock. It's absolutely insanity that we can't agree that what Congress is doing with our money is criminal. Let's go straight with criminal. I believe it to be criminal because they don't have proper oversight, because they're too freaking lazy to properly oversee the money that they spend and the budget items that they have. And you know what's going to happen next? New York is in debt. California is in debt. Illinois is in debt. A lot of states are in debt. As soon as the Democrats get in, they're going to go, hey, we need to forgive all these debts, or we need to take up and pay for all the debts of all of these states. They did it before. They did it in COVID. They made all the states take COVID money. So they already took your money and wasted it. And you know there's $1 trillion of waste every year in the budget. We only have a $6 trillion budget. We have a $6 trillion budget, and $1 trillion, that means $1 out of every 6 is fraud. We need to do something about that. So anyway, we're going to leave with a picture of the hockey teams. There you go. There's the ladies hockey team right there. So I just want to let you know, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here. It's been an absolutely fantastic evening. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your attention every week. Remember, I'm Mickey in the middle of the week, every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Central, right here, wherever I am, right there, wherever you are. You guys have a great night. Love you. Let's get together, America. USA, USA.